Hi, my name is Ricky Wynn, and I'm a Senior Applications Engineer at Hawker Systems. And today we're diving into an often overlooked pattern, the pattern-driven component pattern. So in this example, I have an assembly with a simple part with holes created from a linear pattern. I have this hex washer screw that I like to populate into all the linear pattern holes. So initially, what feature would you use here, or what operations would you use here? Aside from mating each of the holes individually, most likely linear pattern comes to mind. So luckily, I created one here. So you can see, as long as a distance populates correctly, if we take a look and edit this, as long as I get the spacing to match up correctly, we're going to be good to go. But what if we were to open up my sample part and make a change to the linear pattern? Say we'll adjust it to 15 millimeters here. What happens to the screws? So popping in back to the sample assembly, you'll see here, we'll see they don't quite match up with our holes. So what's another alternative? The pattern-driven component pattern. So let's first, I'll change this back to 20. And then now, I'll suppress my linear pattern, and let's take a look at the pattern-driven component pattern. It's as simple as going into the drop-down menu, going into pattern-driven component pattern. For my components to pattern, we'll select the screw. For the driving feature, we're going to select the linear pattern itself. Looks good. Now if we want to test it, we can either modify the linear pattern in the part or in the assembly. So if we want to do the same thing, we'll pop into the sample part. We'll make that same modification to my linear pattern. And you can see here, when I pop back over to my assembly, we can see our hex screws location will also update along with them. So the advantage in this scenario of the pattern-driven component pattern over, say, the linear component pattern. Now, something else I also wanted to mention is that we can use this same pattern-driven component pattern with our hole wizard feature. So here we have a rivet that we want to pattern throughout this plate. So by going to my pattern-driven component pattern here, I'm going to select that rivet, and then I'm going to utilize the hole wizard feature here as the driving feature. And then what that'll give us is my rivets populated throughout all the holes, as well as aligned with the respective hole axes from each of the holes. So in today's video, we covered a scenario where we can utilize the pattern-driven component pattern in our assembly to better capture our design intent, both with regular patterns as well as those derived from the hole wizard feature. Thanks for watching.